Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever Cody decided to play this. Normally, we would be doing this at camp, uh, but unfortunately, the Rona got the best of all of us. Cody asked me a few weeks ago to do this, and of course, I waited for the very last minute to send it to her. In fact, a day late, so maybe 2 days late. So, she told me this year we'd be talking about missions and missionaries, and if I could use that for a Bible study to try. And having not been on a legitimate mission of sorts, it makes it a little difficult to talk about. But I think we can all relate that we have our own personal mission, that God kind of tasks us with. And I think, for me personally, it was eventually coming to the realization of what I was supposed to do with myself, which I didn't figure out until late in college. And that was, go on to medical school, become a doctor. And throughout the entire time I was trying to do this, I had ideas of what I thought I wanted. And regardless of what I wanted, I always kind of got pushed back towards probably what I was meant to do or supposed to do. So when I went to medical school, I thought my mission was to become an orthopedic surgeon. Make a bunch of money, do really cool surgeries, have that kind of prestige. And what ended up happening was, regardless of how hard I tried, I didn't get the test scores necessary to kind of do that, do the mission that I wanted, because that was my personal mission, to go through and do this job and, make my life what I thought would be the best possible. And, God, of course, has other plans for your mission, takes you in the direction that he thinks you should or need to go. And I'm doing family medicine, and I'm attempting to do a sports medicine fellowship. So 1 more year of training, plus the 1 more year of training for the fellowship, and we'll see if that's where he wants me to go. But I think a big part of the missions and, being a missionary for Christ is a lot of listening to him and actually taking the direction when he leads you to it. You can continue to try and climb your own rocky path and try and fight tooth and nail through bush and bramble or whatever kind of path you think you're going to end up on. You can keep trying to force yourself up that tough road, or you can, find that easy path that God ends up laying out for you. And I think that's been one of the hardest things to learn as a Christ follower, is to just listen to him and kind of let him steer the boat for your mission. As you guys get a little bit older and wiser and stronger in your faith, and you start to believe more and more, you guys will find that, although it sounds crazy that my life took turns like that, it's actually what happened. And you're gonna find that it maybe isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. But I think to get through your mission, to make it through whatever kind of struggles and trials that come your way, each of us should have some verse or parable from the Bible. And I think a couple of my favorite ones are, my favorite verse is Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, because your God is with you wherever you go. And I was scared to death to try and do medical school. Didn't think that I could be a doctor. Didn't think I was smart enough or good enough, or I had to go through interview processes and tests, and to get where I'm at. Every time I've taken one, I've had anxiety, and it's I have a little token my dad gave me with that verse on it, and I take it to anything they'll let me. And I'll sit there and pedal with it in my fingers, and kind of just remember that verse over and over and keep saying it in my head until I get past those things. And it's helped me through a lot of stuff, and it's helped me get to the part of my mission that I'm at now. And I was always, I think in the Bible, the stories I always liked were kind of the extreme ones, stories about Samson and, David and Goliath, how unlikely it was that a giant got defeated by a stone and a sling and things like that. So I think any of those stories in the Bible that you can pick out that you resonate with, that that you remember, like, hey, maybe I'm the little guy and maybe this thing is huge, but I've got the biggest thing going for me, and that's my faith in Christ. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Again, Joshua 1:9, my favorite verse, and then, pick that story that you feel really resonates with you and gives you motivation and hope and strength, and keep fighting towards the mission that God eventually will lead you to. You all might be a little too young right now to feel that, but you'll get there at some point. So hope you all have a good virtual camp week. I know it's not the same as going in person, but still, some devotion is better than none. So maybe we can all meet back up next year, and have a good rest of your summer. Love y'all.